Hey everyone, it has been a minute or two since I've done one of these videos, so I figured it was time to kind of go over all of the new things that have just been released, but also show you some of the new features that are coming in April and Q2. We have a lot going on the development side that is pushing pretty much daily and weekly into production. Let's hit the items that were released last week first. One, a bunch of Zapier integrations are now done. They are approved and published within Zapier. So let me just show you a few of those. So if you go to some of these pages and type in Cuppa, you'll be able to see, I think we have 8 or 9 published connections already. So this one's actually pretty interesting. Winston AI, it basically, once the Cuppa article is done, can send it for detecting plagiarism and AI content automatically. That's pretty cool. Let's see, Webflow we have in here. We have Ghost. We have LinkedIn. Now, I know we have some questions in Discord about this already. I think LinkedIn was one where someone's looking to do a LinkedIn Pulse article. Unfortunately, we're restricted from whatever is in Zapier on each party's side. So if LinkedIn doesn't have a connection to do that, which they don't, it's just not possible to do through Zapier. Of course, within Cuppa, you can copy and paste over into LinkedIn Pulse on a tab, literally in probably 2 seconds. But the automatic connection, we are restricted from whatever is connected within Zapier, which obviously makes sense. So I would just keep that in mind. But we have WordPress, LinkedIn. This will continue to grow just because it's very simple to sign up and utilize this and send it wherever you want. You can create flows. It doesn't have to be direct. You can go to, new article created, send to Winston AI for plagiarism and AI scoring, send it then to a Google Doc to have your team review, then sending it to publish, right? Like however you want to create the flow, there's endless possibilities of Zapier. So it really opens things up pretty dramatically, even in WordPress. I know we have the direct publish capabilities, but as most of you guys know, that is a moving target. Some things change personally within your WordPress CMS stack, right? Maybe you add a plugin, there's a conflict, it breaks. Hosting, constantly changing. We know SiteGround, we know Bluehost, we have some even smaller name hosts that always have issues with this. Sometimes you need to add an authorization header from GoDaddy. Sometimes things are missing. A lot of things change. Sometimes you need an IP address, which we have a dynamic IP address. So anyway, this allows you, if you have WordPress, if you have Zapier, you can also do the WordPress connection directly here. So it really opens things up, which is great. Let's continue on. This was a big feature, a big push for us, is the AI generated SERP based outlines, right? So a lot of people were requesting this feature, which totally makes sense on our side. No longer do you need, this is of course the power user here, but this automatically grabs and summarizes basically the top SERPs and gives you an outline based on those SERPs. So you'll see pretty robust outlines now here going forward across all models, which is great. Real improvement here, which is, key, right? Obviously, the more we can mimic what the top SERPs are, theoretically, obviously there's a lot to do besides just getting an optimized outline. But, one step closer to getting to a point where we have a really optimized article coming out of just automatic generation. So that's great. Of course, this is new, general listicle review, how-to recipe. Expect more here very soon. Location pages. What else? Someone else requested the other day. Social media is going to be in here as well. So, Parasite. So we're literally testing right now, and I'll show you in a second. Discussion and forums posts. So grabbing these famous Reddit threads and being able to select the template of that and then even here using some of them to create your own, that will be a feature. So expect that soon. You definitely play around with these. These will require testing, especially if you have power user upgrade. Power user upgrade, really you could do all of this before. Power user upgrade was implementing RAG already, to literally, in non-technical terms, ingest the article to then use that as research to output the article, right? So a lot of these features are basically, enhancing, the current license, but also just giving more structure around the actual prompting in Cuppa for each of these types of articles. So definitely play around with it, test it, see what works. But these are, I know, long overdue, but they are finally here. Duplicate article builds is next. This one totally makes sense, and just something that actually caused us to break Saturday, which is today's Friday, so last Saturday when we released it, which is funny enough. But anytime you generate an article, obviously the idea here with how Cuppa is set up is we want you guys to use all this data here, right? To then, this is great information, headings, keywords, facts, news, wiki. I'll show you in a second our test environment. We have keyword intent. We have Amazon merchant store polls, and we have forum and discussion, right? So there's more and more data that's going to go here. Again, it's all for the idea of the stronger the input into this, into the input form here, the stronger and most consistent the output, right? So just keep that in mind. But duplicate article builds was a request basically based on that, right? So if you're using the advanced options and you're doing tweaks for each of these, right, you want to basically rerun your article with maybe changing the extra content prompt. Maybe you put in something there as a test and you want to try something else. Now you can, right? So just if you save draft, you could have done that before generating an article, but now we'll save it for you. So you can go back in and then just very quickly do changes, duplicate it, go, that type of thing. So that is there. Let's go back here. We did add a bulk target keyword import. Let me go back and show you that bulk import keywords. Sorry, this gives me that. Yep, I meant to hit learn more here. You can actually expect more here too. I think this is where we'll basically open it up to, at the bulk generation level at least, a lot of people want to use their own titles, which I totally get. A lot of these topical maps these days not only have the target keyword and keywords associated per article, but they come with an optimized title and meta, right? So we want to give you that feature as well if you want, where you can drop in the target keyword, add your keywords, your additional keywords in, add in your title. We don't change your title, add in your meta. Literally just essentially we're building the article for you, right? So we're going to give you that feature, but definitely take a look at this. It's in bulk right here. And so this is probably how we're going to do the bulk generation, saving title and all that stuff. But in the meantime, you can use it already for all this good stuff. The CSV JSON is there for you to take a look at as well. Let's see, what else last week? We just, we improved the prompting around DALL-E 3. Don't forget, OpenAI has a pretty strict equal weighting designation within any DALL-E 3 or 2 generation, which means you have equal probability across the list of their ethnicities to show on the generation. So a lot of people have brought that up. Who was it? Someone got, Gemini, I think, got crushed over that. It is what it is. I mean, that's their policy. So there's not much we can do around it, but we can help with the prompting situation where we know the target keyword, we know the location of the article being built. So we have some refinements there to hopefully improve the output for automatic AI generated images. And then of course we fixed a password recovery issue where we send now a one-time password. We had an issue there with the Google's single sign-on that is now fixed. So that is in a very quick, which is not quick now, 10-minute overview of what happened in the first week of April. Let me show you some of the new stuff already in demo. And real quick, just showing you, this is basically RAG at the research data level. And then we also have it at the preset level as well. I sent out a tweet about, RAG and how it's implemented. By the way, that's how our power user upgrade has always worked. From a non-technical standpoint, we're ingesting the article as an input via vector embeddings, but forget about how it's all made. We're ingesting the research data from the selections that you give us and using that as input to help the output. Just think of it that way. So this is literally in demo being tested now. So there's probably some refinements we're already looking at. But the idea here is at the article level, giving research data that will be then used to help at the high level of the article of the build, right? So before this, each of the H2s, H3s had research data sections, basically the same idea, right? But at the entire article level, right? So you can just build in different ways with this RAG functionality, not at the H2, H3 level, but at the higher level article level. And then more importantly, at the preset level, this is where it's going to get really interesting. Where you're going to be able to really direct the persona of the article being written, either at the author level, at the author website level, or at the website level, or at the author and website level, right? So, I think we're just scratching the surface. This is only, basically the owners playing around with this so far, but I feel like unleashing this to all the customers, there's going to be a lot more ways to implement the preset research data RAG and then the article RAG as well that we're probably not even thinking about. But just for an example, Todd here uses Perplexity based on the target keyword, and literally tells Perplexity to give me 5,000 words of research about what is diabetes, right? And then he just drops it in here. In the future, that's going to be an auto pull feature that might be set at the preset level, or just a button here. It's for us is the balance always with the platform, right? Some people want to do this at bulk level automatically, don't have to do anything but hit a damn button and boom, everything's done. That's something we're working towards. We obviously have bulk already, but the more we can improve those, the better. But also at the single article generation level, which is, again, it depends on how you're using Cuppa, but the beauty is, like for me, for example, I think I'm 90% single article generation at this point. But that's just me. There could be, I know a lot of people doing it at the bulk level. So we want to eventually get there on the bulk side where it's all automated, everything works. We pull in the SERPs for you. We pull in the research data for you. All you do is hit one button and boom, everything's done for you. Sure, we want to get to that point eventually. But in the meantime, this is now available in single article generation. Highly recommend once it's rolled out, hopefully here in the next week after some tweaks, giving this a, really testing this thing, right? Like Todd put in this 5,000 words from Perplexity, which basically gives you just like resources, right? Like I think he was looking up some type of diet plan. What was he doing? Target word vegan diet plan or something like that. And, 10 authority links with snippets, dropped it in there. And the article actually even linked externally to those. So there's definitely a lot that is going to happen with RAG implementation this way. We already had it with Power User Upgrade and SERPs directly. Now it's just expanding. So that's coming. on top of that too, the optimization from URL. Almost like the same idea for the SERPs, how that works. Again, RAG. We're going to pull in whatever URL. It could be a URL that's outside of the SERPs that you want to copy, or use as inspiration input for your article for the Cuppa output. Or it could be your own article that you're looking to optimize. We have those two features coming, right? So it's basically rewrite URL. It could be your own, it could be someone else's. But we also have the optimize from URL as well. So those will be slightly different. Basically, the prompting underneath is going to be different. But both of those are coming. Should be early next week, Monday, Tuesday, into beta testing, and then out hopefully into production by the end of the week. And then one more thing to show you here. Let's see if this comes through. Yep. Okay, great. So yeah, you'll see here. We're working again more on some additional data to be able to look at and use for the input side here. Again, the stronger the input with the LLM, with whatever model you select, GPT4 Turbo, whatever it may be, the better the output, the more consistent the output, right? We also released a tweet today on Friday the 12th. Where Sam Altman was showing how GPT-4 Turbo has improved since being released in January. Being released publicly when they switched from the preview model to the regular model, and how much has changed since then, right? So it's funny with how we're always improving features on our side, including the prompting. But also at the same time, the model we're even tapping into is improving, right? So you'll always see basically improvements along the way from both sides, which is great, right? Like, of course, that's what we want to see, but it's really getting the right setup on your side, the right presets, the right inputs. To consistently get the best outputs that you can. But it's pretty awesome to think of. Not only is Cuppa doing the development to increase the features from Cuppa's standpoint, but on the back end, the model is actually increasing significantly as well. And with Cuppa, unlike any other writer out there, when they slash token costs, which I'm sure is coming sometime in the first half of this year, everyone's price is reduced. I mean, GPT 3.5, which by the way is still very usable. Again, it's all about the prompting, but you can generate articles for literally a penny, pennies. So it's great to know that both things are working together to further improve like the output, right? So gives a very rosy picture of what can come from 2024. Just wait till some of the other things that we have coming in terms of vision, Sora, a lot of additional features with OpenAI, but then us also opening up outside of OpenAI as well. So that'll be interesting. But just lastly here, showing you just some quick things you can do. Check this out. Let me just add all these. Sure. Find intent. So we wanted to give you more, basically understanding of the keywords that you want to put into the article. What's the intent of the article, right? So here in this case, informational. So I grabbed a bunch. You can go back. You can unclick, and then you can grab some more. Find intent, right? Like you want to understand. It's interesting too because you can do it at the SERP level. So this is obviously HIMSS ED review. Of course, Freaking Healthline is number one. Why wouldn't they be? These guys are new, which is really interesting. They were a 501(c) here in the States. It was a mental health site that a family created about a family member that passed away from suicide, and now they're writing about ED. Go figure. I actually think the same company owns them at this point, Red Ventures. I'm trying to link them to them, but it just looks and feels like it. But anyway, so that's that. Amazon listings. I think this is not functional quite yet. I know we're working on some optimizations here. Probably Viagra is not the best to show. Let me just try it. There's some latency with the API that we're using right now to show this. So it's going to take a minute, but we're working to improve this. We might do this on the front end as the article is generating. If you're selecting, like maybe on the front end, we'll put, basically a merchant roundup, right? I know a ton of you guys keep telling me to use or to build the merchant roundup from Koala. This is our own version of that. Again, we we always have the balance of finding, like, do we want the automation or do we want the happy balance of basically having both the automation done for you, but also the ability to really pick whatever you want to add in here. At the end of the day, you're still building this article for pennies in a fraction of the time that it used to do with a regular writer. So it's that balance we always have. Of course, we want to automate it. We probably will. But at the meantime, it will be, we're going to give you the option C. Yeah, this isn't, anyway, live filming, but this will be Amazon listings popping up here of products that you can drop, use in RAG when it's here, use it in, the sections if you want. And then lastly, discussion forums. So we're going to have a complete parasite article type, which is pretty interesting. Let's see what happens here. Diabetes, depression. Let's try this, get results 5. So we use our data provider here to give us, does this do it by each? Let's see here. It might do it by each. I might have to single it down to 1, but get results. Let's see what happens. Nothing. I think I did too many. Let me just try 1 here. Let's just do diabetes. Get results. This will show you. So we go to the section in Google now that's discussion of forums. We show you, of course, there's nothing there. It's a bad one. Okay, let me try unclick that. There's got to be something here with. Let's just try this. Right down this function. Yeah, here we go. So we'll show you. We might actually toggle it to show Reddit first as like priority number 1 for the list. But if it has a result and if it has text associated with it, we're going to show it, right? So we want you guys to see it to be able to use to build out a parasite, literally a parasite Reddit post. So that's going to be interesting. Once that's in there as well. So anyway, you can see just more, the idea here is more data again for the input side to really just bolster the article that, to get a truly optimized article of what you're trying to do, right? So just keep in mind, that's the goal we're working to find intent. Amazon listings, discussion, and forums. We're probably going to add the clustering set here. It's already in the editor as well. Related searches, and it pulls up the target keywords. You hit the button, it goes to the front for you to build automatically. But I think we're going to do it on the front end as well. So anyway, long, well overdue video of some of the new features, but give it all a test. And, I would say there's a lot more coming in Q2. Looking at the roadmap, there is a lot of things that we're finalizing, testing, putting the initial structure behind. We're building out an agency plan with extra seats. We're finally finalizing the external and internal linking, which is funny because already on the RAG system here that is in demo, we're already consistently pulling in external links. Perplexity did that really, really well. So it's interesting internally. Obviously, I think we have to have the internal linking, which we have the sitemap pull in for. That's probably coming in Q2. So there's with the general statement here is we're going to continue to improve. There's never going to be a stopping point for us. Initially, when I had bought this in June of last year, I actually thought there would be a stopping process with the developing, but there's not. There's not going to be. Um, and that's two reasons. One, the technology, literally the model we're using, OpenAI, and what they're doing continues to improve, which is awesome. They keep adding new and new features. Other models are finally catching up to the public nature of the API that OpenAI has. So definitely expect new models coming in. We know them all. We've tried a couple of them already in open. We're going to do an open router connection, but that doesn't work at the API level for single article generation because it brings in the prompt. But now that each of the individual models are becoming essentially in the same manner from a product view, where you can very easily sign up for the public API and use it, right? So if you guys remember, we were looking at one called what was it, Open Health API, which we actually got access to, and we were going to use it internally, pay for it ourselves, and you guys can use it. But this is a great example. The model is great. It's one response per minute, so that that will never work. So again, it's when these models become available at the public level and have the capability and bandwidth to actually support building in the manner that most of the Cuppa customers do, we'll add it in there. So anyway, long story, but things are moving. Definitely give us feedback within Discord, email us, give Charles, Todd, and I, Jay and I, whoever part of the team, a tweet, DM us, whatever it may be. Reach out to us, let us know what we can do to improve this. And if you have any feature requests, just drop it in Canny. If you want to go to Canny, upvote some things that are currently outstanding. Highly recommend you do that. That's our best guide as to what customers want. Also, just a quick note there, requesting a feature doesn't guarantee that the feature is going to be made. I think we got some miscommunication of that early on when we released the Canny roadmap. We love to hear the ideas, but if you're telling us to add, whatever the case may be, if we're 20xing our costs for servers, for example, it's something we probably have to figure out if it makes sense to do or if it is feasible to do, right? So I don't know what that would be at this case, but just giving you an idea. Just saying, we'd love to hear all requests, but requests in Canny do not mean it's going to be done. We love the upvotes. It really helps us to figure out the pathway. So definitely do that. And let us know. But happy to keep pushing here with development in Q2, and there is a lot coming.